Habari Gani, my Induga na Dada. This is your elder brother, Abu Amin Ra. Listen, my brothers and sisters, have you thought about this? This is the first pandemic we've gone through in the USA. Listen, my brothers and sisters, since at least 1619, African people who were brought here in chains and reduced to chattel slaves. My brothers and sisters, ever since then, there's been a pandemic of white racism and white supremacy vis-a-vis African people, black people, who were brought here in chains. And ever since then, have been going through a pandemic. The first primary pandemic was the patrollers, who morphed into the police departments, who are still doing that job, catching us and killing us. Then, my brothers and sisters, we were beaten with whips, separated from our culture, separated from our language, and treated like animals, worse than they treat their dogs. After 1865, shortly thereafter, the Ku Klux Klan were organized and got on a terroristic march, burning crosses and hanging black people. They're still hassling us, terrorizing us. Listen, my brothers and sisters. Then came the Tuskegee syphilis experiment on us. Over 400 black men injected with syphilis and not treated, but studied, so they could understand the effects of syphilis untreated on a human being. Then, my brothers and sisters, listen. After we travailed against this came Margaret Sanger and a program of sterilizing black women or aborting the fetuses in their bodies, and inspired an organization called Planned Parenthood. It was situated closely to the black neighborhood. Then, my brothers and sisters, we struggled during the 1960s for civil rights. They guaranteed them to us, put it on paper, and then took it back. And the CIA infused crack cocaine in our neighborhoods, put guns in our neighborhood. So, my brothers and sisters, we've been going through a pandemic ever since our ancestors landed on these shores in chains. Ain't nothing changed for us. So what about that pandemic? Have you thought about that, black people? The pandemic that black people are faced with constantly in their eyes: racism and white supremacy. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? This is not to take away from Corona or COVID-19, but it is to get you to think that we've been going through a pandemic ever since we landed on these shores. The pandemic of white racism and white supremacy vis-a-vis our people. Now you need to think about this. Please, my people, give it some thought. Once again, y'all, peace and hotep to you, my Induga na Dada.